Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Fronti.
Welcome back to the second half. That's right, the second half of the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here on your hometown station, KHGS. Every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., you get to join us. You can actually join us, as a matter of fact, not just listening to the show every Saturday, but you can actually join us and enter the Vault Media Studio, our custom-built studio right here at Skyline Home Loans. We built it just for you by going to donandgino.com, DONANDGINO.com. And you can see our very handsome guest back by popular demand. Wave to the crowd. That's right, Mr. Carlos Villalobos.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here again.
We love having you here, Carlos. And, you know, we don't just talk real estate. A lot of people are like, oh, what's going on in real estate trends? Yes, we tell you all the time how the market's hot. I mean, we're in one of the hottest real estate markets we have seen in quite some time. We had a pent-up demand. Interest rates have come back down since the election. How about that? We're back down almost 0.5% since the election. And prices are going up. They're going up almost 7% a year. So do you think you need to get into real estate now? Now is the time. So if you need any help with that and want to look into your options, go to SantaClaritaHomeLoan.com. Santa Clarita Home Loan. You think we're local? That's right on Turney Road. And we'll help you with your first home, your second home, your next home, or your refinance, your cash out, your debt consolidation. We have it all. Again, SantaClaritaHomeLoan.com. We'll help you out. So the other thing that we've done after over 6 years now, can you believe that, Carlos?
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah. You've been on the show almost that entire 6 years, you and Steve Korn and a few others of our top professionals. But we put together America's Professional Resource Group together. What this goal is to have the very best resource you can in any field you need for your life. And they may be fields you don't know you need right now, but you should know. And, of course, insurance is one of the most important there is. I've been in this industry 30 years, and I've realized that insurance is one of the most important things. I've had my own insurance for many years, and I can tell you that Carlos Villalobos is absolutely the best out here because most don't ask half the questions Carlos asks. He doesn't review your policy. I mean, most don't review your policy. They don't have how many years experience? I'm sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus a little bit, Carlos.
That's quite all right. It's just like my wife. But anyways.
We both love you.
I know. Over 30 years experience.
Okay, so that's what you want. I have 30 years experience. I can tell you what I've learned over those 30 years is invaluable. And Carlos the same way. So he knows what questions to ask. And Carlos, I love how you always put it. You always go over the policy in detail. And you handle all my policies, all my homes, my business, my motorcycles, you name it, you got it. But you always ask questions. Is this important? Is that important? Did you understand this? Does this make sense? If you don't do that, do you understand the ramifications? I mean, you go through all the questions.
I do. Sometimes I ask too many questions, and people
I don't agree.
And people get upset. But I try to be thorough. I try to ask the questions that are important. Not maybe today, but when you do have a claim or when you need your insurance, because that's the most important time.
Well, people don't need their insurance ever, do they? Well, their home doesn't burn down. They don't get in an auto accident. They don't get stuff stolen. None of that stuff ever happens.
Some of those people are very lucky. They never have claims, but the majority will have at least 2 or 3 claims in their lifetime.
Right.
And that's the worst time to find out that you don't have what you thought you had.
And that's key. And if you're listening, this is not just a sell Carlos Villalobos insurance. This is education time for you because I know, Carlos, you've educated me a lot because my prior insurance was not properly set up. Either my deductible wasn't set up. I didn't have enough coverage for my home to be even rebuilt.
Correct. That's a big problem nowadays.
Because I know a lot of insurance companies can easily manipulate your payment, correct?
Yeah.
That maybe not, but not protecting you fully.
That is correct. In order to rate a policy, you have certain factors that you have to put into the rating. If you change those, if you say your home is only 2,000 square feet, but in reality it's 2,300, well, then that replacement cost is going to be lower.
Right.
Same thing if you have granite countertops in the kitchen, but you tell them it's tile. Well, the replacement cost is going to be less.
Right.
That holds true for any type of insurance. The factors that you put into the rating is what determines what you should be insured for.
All right, and I'm glad you always ask those questions so to make sure we're properly prepared. Or other options. For example, I mean, earthquake insurance. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to come up with 150 grand or whatever it is. If let's see, what was it, 20% or for a while, 15% of whatever the replacement value was.
Yeah, it's 15%, but you can get it down as low as 2.5% nowadays.
Yeah, I think I took a portion. We worked out. I'm like, I want $150,000 worth of damage.
Correct.
Protection.
You can do that.
Yeah. And that was affordable for me to go and, depending on my equity position was enough to replace the entire house, but I want to keep it. And if I only have to pay a certain amount per month, that'll repair it and I can stay in it. That was game for me.
There's definitely a lot of options out there regarding all types of insurance, even earthquake. We hear a lot about the CEA, the California Earthquake Authority, but that's not the only player out there. So you need to talk to your agent. Better yet, call me.
There you go. How can they get a hold of you?
Call me at here in town, 661-255-8282. Send me an email at carlosvinsurance, spelled out, at Gmail. We'll be happy to answer your questions. We'll be happy to give you advice. Doesn't mean that you have to write insurance with us, even though we want you to. But getting advice sometimes is more important than selling a policy, because then people remember you.
And I know we send all our clients, every single client, we get a quote from you to make sure that they know what they're getting, not just to sell you. I don't get a piece of anything we sell, but we want to make sure, one, they're in good hands, because their insurance is imperative, and your reflection on us, and we want to make sure they're protected. That's part of what we do, is provide everybody with the top professionals we can. And I'd say a good portion of our clients choose to work with you.
Well, thank you. Yes, they do. And we don't try to take any shortcuts. In other words, we're going to treat that customer like it's my house. Because if we know what happens when you do have a total loss, and we don't want to be in the shoes of that agent that didn't write the proper coverage or the right amount or shortchange them. Because then that's how they get in trouble.
All right. Okay, so we're going to go over a few things over this segment. We're going to tee it up some now. Carlos was nice enough to put some time and effort into going over some of the latest trends in the industry. And these are imperative for you to understand, because these are things that you don't know or don't hear about, and therefore they bite you in the butt later. And our goal is to eliminate that. One of them I wasn't, of course, pleased with, but I'd love to know why it's happening, because I know real estate's going up about 6.9% a year. Evidently, so is our insurance rates.
Yeah, auto insurance is on the average going up 6.9% almost every 6 months for the last 18 months. All the major carriers have rate increases with the Department of Insurance. And the reason for that is that the claims cost per vehicle has just skyrocketed. There are more vehicles on the road today than there were in 2014. The average claim is costing an average of $1,800 more than what it used to cost. And some of the factors there are all the new beautiful technology that you get when you buy that new car, that backup camera, that lane sensor. People don't realize how much it costs to replace that. Even the insurance companies are behind the times, because they're now catching up. They're going, wait a minute, that bumper used to cost $800. Why do I have to pay $2,000?
Oh, it's the little cameras that are in it now.
It's just all those little things. Even the windshields that used to cost $500 now are $1,800, because they have the sensors for the rain, where your windshield wipers come on automatically.
Oh, I have that. I think it's cool.
Or the sensor that lets
but my insurance went up because of it.
And it's going to continue to go up. And then the sensor that lets you know, hey, you're going too fast. It starts beeping at you.
Right.
All these things add to the cost of fixing the vehicle.
I mean, it's nice to know that it's not insurance companies just, taking it to us. It's basically, these are good things to know that, hey, all that technology advantages, a lot of them are advantages. They really are. They're safety precautions, convenience, and all that. Okay, you're going to pay a little extra on your insurance for it. But remember, you're paying 6.9% on your insurance, not on your house or your,
Correct. And what the carriers are doing also, they can't rate by zip code, but they can definitely rate by claims where they're happening. So that's almost the same thing, but that's another subject we can talk about. But the costs are going up, and it's not just one carrier. So it's not like if you're insured with Mercury and you say, oh, I'm going to switch. Well, yeah, the other carrier is a little bit less now because their rate filing may not have hit yet.
Be careful of that. So, in case you're like, "Woo, these guys are-"
consequently, I'm going to save $100, but then the next renewal,
You didn't.
you didn't. So we're seeing a lot of that in the industry. We're seeing a lot of people switching because they want to save money, but not realizing why they're switching. Maybe you can increase your deductible. That will save you money.
See, there are other options, and that's why you work with a professional. If you're like, hey, I'm going to switch because of this, well, be careful because you think you're saving, but it's going to bite you in the butt. Why don't we start being proactive instead of reactive?
Exactly. I agree 100%.
Okay. We have more great information from Carlos Villalobos with Carlos Villalobos Insurance. He's going to share some new other trends, also some things that you really need to know about. I did not know about some more. I don't know how you always find stuff I don't know about insurance, but I guess it's because I don't do insurance. When we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show in just a few minutes for our last segment, I guarantee you're going to get some pearls and wisdoms when we come back.